Welcome to the Life as an Observer podcast. My name is Ryan Bean. I am your host in self-observation. This podcast is an exploration of physical and non-physical self through discussion around yoga, meditation, self-improvement, self-realization, and practices that elevate the mind-body-soul connection. Let's start observing. Welcome to episode 3 of Life as an Observer podcast. Today, we're going to explore and kind of talk a little bit about what it means to start a practice. Now, John Maxwell said that you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to your success is found in your daily routine. And Thich Nhat Hanh said that the feeling that any task is a nuisance will soon disappear if it is done in mindfulness. So what is a practice, really? We use that word practice as it relates to sporting events and competitions. But in this case, what I'm talking about as a practice is our daily meditation, mindfulness practice, breathwork practice, yoga, really any practice that works on that heart and mind healing. There's lots of options. And sometimes we just don't know where to start because, at least from me, I've heard so many different ways that we can become mindful. And I feel like the list is really long and we get really overwhelmed with it. We look at it and we say, there's no way I can fit all that into my day, my morning, and even create a routine around all these things, including meditation, cold immersion, breath work, and yoga. By that time I get all this stuff done, it'll be halfway through my day and I have to go to work. And so I can't create this practice that you talk about. So first of all, we just need to kind of identify that doing all those things is great and wonderful, but we can't always do all of them. And that's where we get hung up. We say, I can't do these things, so I'm just not going to have a mindful practice. And that's a problem. That's a problem for us to just say, I'm quitting, I'm stopping while I'm behind because I don't feel like I have enough time to do them. So how do we start a practice? Well, we start by doing one small thing. Now think about that. One small thing. You can change one small thing in your day to start the momentum to maybe starting to offer other things. So what is that one small thing? Well, I know when I was guest facilitating at a university in Florida, I was talking to them about what a mindful practice is. And the one thing that I said that they can do every day that will start the momentum is just make your bed. Pretty simple task. When you get out of your bed, make it. That is like checking something off of a list, checking the box, saying, I got it, good, moving forward. And you start the day with momentum before you even leave your room. Now, you can also be mindful about when you drink your coffee. So we make coffee, many people do, or tea, or they have a morning breakfast routine. And it's just simply a routine where we go into it mindlessly. Now, if we went into it mindfully, we could start to maybe take advantage of some of the opportunities to be in the present moment. Maybe smelling the coffee before sipping it and feeling the warmth of the cup. And maybe in the sip, letting it come into the mouth and really tasting all the flavors rather than just, I need to get the caffeine into me. This can be done through the way you make your toast in the morning. This can be done in the way you go into the shower in the morning, how you brush your teeth. All these things can be done in starting a practice when done mindfully. Now, I do a lot of really interesting things, and this may help you in your daily routine. Now, I know from my phone I have alarms that I can put on my phone any time of the day. I can put as many alarms on there as I want, and they are not to wake me up. I don't use my phone in the morning, and I'm going to get to that here in a minute, but I don't use my phone until after 9 a.m. But what I can do is I can put alarms on my phone that introduce ideas and reminders for me to be mindful. So if I were to open up my phone right here, I can see that I have a couple alarms, and some of them are kind of funny to me. But one that I have in particular that makes me laugh says, "Do your effing breath work," and then I can turn that on. I have it set at a certain time. I have another one that says, "What are you grateful for right now?" Right now. And I have another one that turns on that says, "Meditation is the way to your highest self every day." And I have several others. I think I have about 10 different alarms that go off. Now, I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb because I teach yoga and they don't go off. So these actual alarms are silent alarms. You can change the sound on them, and you can label them in whatever way you want. So mine are labeled for mindful activities that I want to do during the day. Things that I want to be reminded of so that I don't forget and go back into the easy route of just doing nothing. Gratitude alarms are an amazing way for you to start a practice, even if that is, "Hey, did you make your bed?" Very, very simple. Now, we can do things like meditation, and that can be included as just like 15 minutes. I think that we find that it's really hard to start a meditation practice if we don't have one already. You can add it to the end of your breath work if you're starting to do that. Or you can simply just find a tool. For me, I use the Insight Timer app. That's where my meditations are, as a repository for my meditations and breath work. I use Insight Timer. There's millions of meditators on there, thousands of teachers, and meditations that are all different lengths that you can bookmark, save, and listen to as needed. I have a meditation on there that is only 3 minutes long. Now, I think it's 5 minutes with the introduction, but it's only that long. You could put that on in the morning on Insight Timer or any other meditation app, YouTube or Calm, or there's so many of them, but you can set that as part of your alarm to turn that little 5-minute meditation on and create a meditation habit. Now, in further episodes, we'll talk about the importance of meditation and why we should do it, but maybe just starting with finding one short meditation and including that as one of your, I call them gratitude alarms or just reminders on your phone. Do your meditation. Now, I like to have a breathwork practice that is before my meditation. And I like to do it right when I wake up in the morning in bed. This can be as simple as a few breaths that are very conscious, that are very activating, that allow you to still be in bed, in that nice warm spot that you don't want to leave, but still partaking in a daily ritual. Waking up and breathing consciously in through the nose. And we're going to practice this at the end of today's podcast, but just starting a breathwork routine. 15 minutes is really all it takes if you wanted to have a full breathwork routine, but you can do this with just a few conscious breaths. Move into a 5-minute meditation, and there you are out the door, or at least out of your bed, within 10 minutes of you waking. And that is normally the length of time in your snooze button. Can you imagine what your life would look like or feel like is that instead of hitting snooze, you said, "I'm breathing and I'm going to do a quick meditation and then I'm going." You will find so much momentum in your morning and in your day and your week. Things will begin to flow to you in ways that you really didn't know were going to happen. Now, we can set up these different gratitude alarms or whatnot, but it's really nice to not actually use your phone as your alarm clock. I'm talking about your morning alarm clock. Actually, there is still alarm clocks out there in the world. You can pick them up at local stores or on online retailers. Alarm clocks that are simply just an alarm clock. That way you do not have to pick up your phone. Now, why don't I want to pick up my phone? Well, don't look at your phone before 9 a.m. or after 9 p.m. is another very mindful practice that you can bring into your daily routine. This is something I've been doing for years, at least trying to. Now, there are days where I get up earlier and I'm off to the airport or I'm teaching an earlier class, and so I may look at my phone before 9 in some regards, but I don't get on social media. I may see a text message or whatnot, but I don't read emails. I don't get on social media. And I'm doing this, first of all, not after 9 p.m. because I don't want to be looking at my phone in bed, looking at the blue light, keeping me awake. I don't want to be part of that interaction. I want to be able to settle into my nighttime routine, which is a whole nother probably podcast, my whole nighttime routine to get me ready for bed, to get me ready for sleep. Now, before 9 a.m., the reason why we don't look at the phone, the social media, the emails, is again, it goes back to momentum. Now, if I'm starting my day with all the bad news in the world, or an email from someone that I don't really want to read right when I'm still laying in bed, I've thus slowed my momentum to the vibration of that email, that social media post, that person's text message. I have slowed my momentum down, maybe even to a place where I'm maybe fearful of the day, or maybe having regret, or I'm finding sadness, or I'm feeling a little lost. All these things can come up as sensations in the body and in the mind just by simply looking at our phone. Get yourself a real alarm. Now, when I get out of bed in the morning, something else I like to add to my routine is I add a cold shower. This is a great way to start the day. You can do it 30 seconds at the end of your regular shower. It doesn't really matter what the temperature is, honestly. I want you just to get it as cold as you can. Just turning it down. In some warmer climates, it might only be 60 degrees, but that's all you really need to get the benefits of removing inflammation within the blood system, for finding energy, waking you up, for creating brown fats within the body, to help with metabolism, and really to be able to find that focus and that center and that drive for the day. What an amazing way to just simply wake up. So let's review really quick before I move on. Things you can do to start your mindful morning or starting a practice. You can start by waking up, doing just a few breaths. That's first. Second, just doing a 5-minute meditation. Using your alarm to get you up and not your phone. That's the third. Not looking at social media before or after that 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. grace period. And then once you get up out of bed, once you've made that bed, that's number 4, moving into the cold shower. Taking that, doing 30 seconds, at the end of it, getting ready, feeling like you're ready to go, and moving into the next stage. Now, if you like to take ice baths like I do, you can start with as simple as 90 seconds if you want. But if ice baths are not available, that 30 seconds in the cold shower is a really nice option. And of course, you can always work up from there, taking only cold showers or taking longer ice baths. In future sessions, I will guide us in the podcast here on how to do the breath work to prepare for that, and how to enter an ice bath. But another thing for the 5th option for starting a mindful morning is yoga. Now, yoga is something that it is my beloved. It is how I find center. It's how I find peace. It's a place that I go to as a retreat from just life in general. Yoga is a great way to begin to start a mindful practice. Now, I'm talking to the skeptics out there now, and those who don't want to go into a yoga studio, who say, I don't want to be embarrassed in front of all these people. I'm not flexible. I'll start when I'm flexible. I'm not interested in that because I like to lift weights, or my exercise routine doesn't include yoga because I do this other thing. Well, here's the thing. Yoga does help the body. However, yoga is not for the body. It is for your mind. And I remember I read a quote, and I even made an Instagram post about it the other day, that you can have all these great workout routines, these great dieting routines, these things you eat, these vitamins you have, these little patches you wear. But if you're not doing work on your mind and heart coherence, you're still unhealthy. Hear me on this one. You're still unhealthy if you're not working on your mind. Yoga is the calming of the whirlwind of the mind. Yes, we're using asana or postures to help get into that. We're using breath work to really focus that and direct it. But yoga is the mind work. And you can start online if you wanted to. I teach on Insight Timer. I have classes that are on there for yoga. You can do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go into a studio if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling as though you might be embarrassed or you don't have the right things to wear. But I'm going to tell you, no one cares about that. Once you get in there, just do the yoga. But if you really need an online resource, use it. Get onto Insight Timer. Get onto YouTube. And then get into a studio. There is some power behind that community and that feeling of movement. And maybe you'll end up finding a teacher that you really like. Now, I'll tell you, many studios offer their first class free, or they offer an introduction rate. You can get started without any commitment in most yoga studios. Your gym might have a yoga studio that you've just never been in. Your climbing gym may have a yoga studio you've never been in. Do you want to become a better human? Do you want to become a better athlete or better in the hobby that you liked doing? Then yoga is the conduit to that better you. Now, I will tell you that you need to start with like a slow flow class, or maybe start with something that's called vinyasa, or something where you can experience mindful movement. Going into a power class or a hot power class may not be your best option unless that's what you're searching for. I want you to be able to feel that mindful movement, that brain and mind and breath connection through movement, and then move up from there. Lots of ways to get into yoga, and if you just want to do it at home, you can. If you have the time and ability to do that, go for it. It's all really a wonderful way for you to begin to start your mindful practice and begin. So I kind of want to talk about the breath work and meditation portion of this. So kind of visualize here with me. Your alarm goes off. It could be your phone, but let's just pretend it's not your phone today, all right? And we're getting up. We're not looking at social media in bed. We're hearing the alarm go off, and it's telling us to get up, even though we know we have some extra time, because normally we hit snooze, but we get up. We turn on that mindset that I am moving into a better me today, a better me this week, this year. I am molding the life that I want. Alarm goes off, and immediately you begin with mindful breath. Now I'm going to guide us through a sample breath work round and a sample meditation to get started with the day. So as you hear your alarm, or you're visualizing it here, you can be sitting or laying for this. Imagine yourself turning off the alarm and taking a giant breath in through your nose, letting the belly inflate, letting the heart rise, letting the shoulders roll back, and slowly releasing. Now, as you breathe in, I want it to go down below your belly as though you're letting the belly expand. We're filling the lower lobes of the lungs. We're letting the ribs expand, the heart lift, the head lift, and then releasing slowly, almost like you're pushing that exhale through a straw. Breathe in again. Let the ribs expand, the heart lift, and slowly release. One more time like this, breathing in. Breathe into that space right below the belly button. Let the belly expand, let the ribs lift, the heart lift, the head lift, and slowly release. Now from here we can move into all kinds of different breath work, but I want you to really feel how you feel after doing just those 4 breaths. Just those 4 breaths that say, I'm here, I'm present, I'm showing up for the day. Now if we wanted to have a more active breath work, we can add it here. If we want to move right into meditation, I'm awake, I'm ready to receive this day. Maybe you have your palms open, almost in an act to say, I am open to receive. Begin feeling your toes, maybe just by squeezing them. Squeezing your hands and just being grateful for those appendages, your hands and feet. Just, hey, I'm grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you for this bed, starting right where I'm laying. I'm grateful for this bed that supports me as I sleep. I'm grateful for this pillow and this blanket, the sun that's coming in. And begin to scan the body in a way that's very, very appreciative of each part of you. Maybe beginning to notice your knees, your thighs. Beginning to notice that you are still breathing with that belly breath. Letting the breath come into the belly, the ribs, the heart, and exhaling, all the while being appreciative of the body that you live in. Continuing to stay with that breath through the remainder of this meditation, just focusing on the breath coming in through the nose, letting it go to the belly, the heart, the head. And maybe at some point in your meditation today, you begin to almost visualize or imagine that you're breathing directly into the heart and sending it down to the belly. So now we're moving into this breath that is in our torso, feeling all the components and the organs beginning to activate, feeling this elevation with new oxygen, feeling as though I'm starting a momentum. And you can begin to increase the speed in which you breathe. We started with really slow, but if you would like to breathe in, expand, and then release. Breathe in, expand, release. Breathe in, expand the ribs, release. Keep moving through that rhythm. And maybe you start to move your hands and move your arms. Maybe start to roll the covers down, but continuing to breathe. Finding the shoulders roll back, the head lifted. Finding this little bit of momentum as you move around in your bed. Finding that you're feeling energized and ready to see this day through. And completing your round, just take one giant breath in. And I want you to release and hold at the bottom. Now as you hold at the bottom in this neutral lung state, maybe feeling your heart beating and the tingling in your hands and feet, just being very mindful of what you feel, and maybe opening your palms here in an effort to say, I am here to receive, not from my thinking mind, but from my heart, from that intelligence that lives within me. I'm here to receive inspiration. I am here. I am receiving. I am now. Then you may receive something or you may not. That's not really the point, is not to receive immediate gratification, but just putting the intention out to the world that you would like to receive, and that you're ready, that you're in alignment and in momentum to receive. Now, visualize yourself rolling out of bed, making your bed. Making your bed as you get out of bed, pulling up the sheets. And I use a mantra every day, and I'm going to share that with you today. My mantra that I use every day as I make my bed is, you can repeat this if you like, or just simply listen. I am open to receive gratitude and joy. I deserve success and abundance. I expand in gratitude, love, joy, and success every day while I inspire others to do the same. And you can repeat this as many times as you need. As you make your bed, I am open to receive gratitude and joy. I deserve success and abundance. I expand in gratitude, love, joy, and success every day while I inspire others to do the same. After making your bed, starting off in your routine, making the coffee, getting in the cold shower, and doing whatever routine it is that you need to start this practice. You'll get better. It'll get longer. You'll find more time. You'll find more places to practice. You'll find more joy in the practice. But start small. Start with just a few minutes in your bed and then make your bed. Sharon Salzberg said that mindfulness isn't difficult. We just need to remember to do it. Use your gratitude alarms, friends. Put those on your phone. Write them down. Use notes around your house. Whatever it is that you need to do to remember that you can never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. Until next week, friends. Thanks for listening to Life as an Observer. I'm Ryan Bean. You can find me on social media sites as Ryan Bean Yoga, or on Insight Timer. We talked about this today as Ryan Bean, doing weekly sessions on there. This is today's episode, and I look forward to chatting with you next week.